Welcome to the Turing Test, your daily deep dives podcast. We're diving into that big moment when Meta dropped the weights for their 65 billion parameter LLaMA model, and the internet totally exploded.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all happened on February 24th, 2023, right? With no flashy demo or paywall, just a raw state-of-the-art AI handed over to everyone.
Exactly, and the approach was so minimalistic. It was like, here, internet, have some cutting-edge AI, and almost immediately the weights leaked on BitTorrent.
Right.
And then dorm room projects started fine-tuning alpacas and vicuñas.
That sudden rush, people were literally building miniature models everywhere. It's fascinating how one move created this whole wave of innovation and, chaos.
Right, and from there, a series of big questions emerged. First up, why would a mega corporation like Meta voluntarily give away what many consider their crown jewels?
Yep.
Their answer was responsible openness, the idea that many diverse eyes could catch issues faster than one team could.
I get that on paper, but don't you wonder if there's also a hefty competitive angle here? I mean, by opening up the model, Meta not only fuels a whole ecosystem, but it indirectly boosts their own products.
Absolutely, it's like a double-edged sword. On one hand, you're democratizing access to high-quality AI research, and on the other, you're creating a platform where tools, tutorials, and benchmarks flourish, benefiting their products like Instagram and WhatsApp. It's kind of like planting seeds in your own garden, huh?
Yeah, definitely. It reinforces the ecosystem and ensures Meta's tech is feeding through data centers, even if indirectly. But then there's this whole contrast with rivals like OpenAI and Google.
Exactly. OpenAI took the opposite road, keeping things close-lipped, almost secretive with GPT-4, while Google flirted with partial openness, but definitely held onto the major assets. Meta's move really put a spotlight on these differing philosophies.
And then there's the whole performance question. Like, can the open crowd, those smaller players fine-tuning these models, actually match up to the performance and safety of the closed titans?
Right, that's a big one. Look at how LLaMA 2 in July 2023 achieved GPT 3.5 levels on benchmarks, and then LLaMA 3, coming in at 70 billion parameters in April 2024, got really close to GPT-4 class tasks, which is pretty wild. The open models are truly giving the closed ones a run for their money.
Exactly, though safety is another layer of complexity. Meta did introduce a responsible use guide and red teaming reports, but critics argue that with open weights, fine-tuning for malicious purposes becomes way too easy.
Right, it's a bit of a trade-off. On one hand, you empower the community to build, iterate, and even patch safety tools, like that real-time filter plugin by Garnet in Paris. But on the other, you're giving potential bad actors the keys to the kingdom, as seen in the Nightshade exploit. It's like you're democratizing defense while also democratizing risk.
That balance is really tricky to nail. And speaking of that balance, how do you see regulation playing into all of this? Especially with the EU AI Act and the US executive orders coming into play.
Oh yeah, regulation is like another twist to this story. The EU AI Act, passed in December 2023, carved out lighter rules for smaller open models, but imposed reporting for those above 10 billion parameters. Meta argues those lighter rules should extend even if you're releasing bigger models, but lawmakers are not entirely sold. Meanwhile, in the US, there's that executive order nudging voluntary commitments, which Meta signed along with OpenAI and Anthropic.
So it's clear that there's a global push to manage how open these models should be, balancing innovation with security. But I have to wonder, does this just serve Meta's strategic playbook, or is it a glimpse of the future for all AI giants?
Great question. Meta has a track record of backing open projects. Think React or PyTorch, which is almost a rallying cry for community collaboration.
Yep, that's right.
It's a bet that community gravity, the network effect, will eventually outweigh strict monetization. But there are contrasting approaches out there too, like Apple's rumored Ajax models that will be tightly controlled.
Right. Apple's approach seems like a totally different DNA, where clout is maintained through exclusivity. It makes you wonder if Meta's open-first route will define the future, or if we'll see a split model, open versus closed approaches coexisting.
Exactly. And it's not just theory, there are tangible examples. Perplexity AI built a multimodal search assistant on LLaMA 2 and reached a $500 million valuation by April 2025, all while slashing their infrastructure costs significantly compared to closed models like GPT-4. It's a clear demonstration of open weights lowering the barrier to entry.
And then there's the academic scene. Remember UC Berkeley's work with Vicuna? They managed to get about 90% of GPT-4's chat quality for under $600 in cloud compute. That kind of cost efficiency really transformed research dynamics overnight.
Right. You can almost imagine it like a DIY revolution in AI research. It's like the open models not only make cutting-edge AI accessible to startups, but also fundamentally shift the research landscape. But let's not forget the cautionary tale of the Nightshade exploit.
Exactly. That incident, where LLaMA 2-70B was fine-tuned to reveal sensitive data, really highlighted the risks lurking behind such openness. Even though the exploit was patched quickly, it underscored that openness carries inherent vulnerabilities.
Right, it's a balancing act. Some folks suggest, and I kinda agree, with the idea of graded disclosure, releasing smaller models freely, bigger ones under licenses, and extreme-scale models in controlled environments.
That makes sense.
It's a way to harness innovation while mitigating risk.
Although I do wonder if this graded approach might stifle the sort of rapid iteration we've seen in the open community. I mean, isn't the whole point of open source to foster innovation without excessive restrictions?
That's a fair challenge. It might introduce certain bottlenecks in accessibility, but remember, the idea is to ensure that the models are used responsibly, and sometimes responsible use needs a little guardrail. Still, it's a tough call given the potential for both positive and negative outcomes.
And then there's Meta's own legal maneuvering, like their hybrid license for LLaMA 2, which forbids using it to improve other large models. It's clever, almost like legal judo to maintain a competitive edge, even while engaging in openness.
Absolutely, it's ironic in a way. By flooding the market with capable open models, Meta might actually reduce the marginal value of any single closed model, including their own future releases. It's all about that network effect over the scarcity premium. It's a fascinating strategic gamble.
So the big takeaway is that the open sourcing of LLaMA wasn't merely an altruistic move. It redrew the competitive map for AI, splitting the community into open weight versus closed API camps, and created a regulatory puzzle that we're still trying to solve.
Right. And the real metrics to watch will be how many killer apps emerge from these open weights, and conversely, how many high-profile harms can be directly tied to them. The future of AI might well hinge on balancing and learning from both outcomes. It's like watching two diverging paths shaping the industry side by side.
And as these trends evolve, it's also about the community, startups, academias, and even regulatory bodies constantly adapting. It reminds me of how quickly things can change when a disruptive innovation is unleashed.
Yeah, indeed. It's like an ecosystem where every tweak in one area ripples out and influences everything else. The open approach lowers barriers for innovation, but also opens up a Pandora's box of challenges. It's a dynamic space that's both exciting and a bit nerve-wracking.
Well, it definitely gives us a lot to watch and analyze. I mean, who knows what the next big twist will be? Will further openness drive even greater breakthroughs, or will regulators clamp down and force another shift?
Exactly. It's a live experiment in both technology and governance. And while Meta's bold move has split opinions, it's undoubtedly reshaping the competitive landscape of AI.
Spot on.
And it's a reminder that sometimes being open can be as much a strategic weapon as it is a community service.
I guess, at the end of the day, it all boils down to market dynamics and regulatory responses. And as these open models continue to spark new projects, like that multimodal search assistant and academic breakthroughs, we're set for some truly transformative times.
Absolutely. And the conversation is just getting started. As these killer apps emerge and the industry adapts, we'll keep our eyes on the scoreboards of innovation and safety.
Exactly.
It's a thrilling time to be involved in AI.
And for our listeners, keep tuned in because every twist in this saga, new benchmarks, regulations, and even those unexpected vulnerabilities will fundamentally shape what's next in AI.
Right. The debate of open versus closed is one that's just beginning to unfold. Whether you're rooting for the champion of openness or the guardian of guarded approach, one thing's clear. The future of AI is being written by decisions made today.
Absolutely. Well, that's a wrap for this deep dive. Thanks for sticking with us as we navigated the intricate maze of open models, competitive strategy, and market disruption. Keep your comments coming and join the conversation.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning the AI horizon.